Announcement. If I had to give you one piece of advice about staying sober, we've talked about in the past episodes about people, places, things, changing everything. People is the main component of this. People are going to try to throw you off, either intentionally or non-intentionally. Narcissists will prey on you. I have never been more pissed off than when some dumb shit blames my sobriety on them not getting their way. Example.
I think you need to calm down. Maybe you need to go to a meeting.
Do you feel like having a drink? Because you're kind of a little moody.
I think your sobriety has made you paranoid.
Nothing pisses me off more. People are going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to make you slip. Just don't let it happen. Don't let people do it. Today we have Lex Hunt on the show. I met Lex at the comedy club. Great human being, good dad, good human. Been sober for a long time, which I did not know about. This is going to be a good talk. Probably one of the best. We had a lot of technical difficulties, but I think I worked some magic so we could all enjoy it. I really enjoyed this talk, so let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You tell me where you want to start, because I love the idea of this podcast. Let me start out by saying, thank you for asking me to do this.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who listens to this or watches this. Like, I think it's a great idea. So whenever we're in 46 countries with this thing, don't forget about episode 6. Is it 5?
5.
Don't forget about episode 5.
You know what's so weird, man, is like I just got so stressed out when you're like 46 countries. I'm like, I mean, I gotta do it on myself still.
You gotta learn 46 languages.
Oh, fuck them.
They'll have a real-time translator by then. Oh, I shouldn't eat this gum, dude. I don't want to smack it.
You're good, man. And I appreciate that. Like, this is something I've been working on for like a year.
This is cool, dude.
And I found those 2 phones, and I was like, that's all I need just to get started, and then I'll make it better as I go. You know, like,
love it.
I just needed something creative. Like, I'm really not playing music anymore. I don't really do comedy anymore. I don't want to. It was kind of like all the fun kind of got sucked out of it, and I was like, man, this isn't an art form for me anymore. It's become a business that I'm losing at for some reason, because everybody else gets to make the decisions for me. So I didn't want that. And then, like, I kind of like, I wasn't going to drink, but I was having, like, you know, those, when you hit rock bottoms, those really bad, dark thoughts. Like, I was having a lot of those. I wouldn't want to spend time with my kids. I was, like, kind of blowing Robin off, she can't hear me. She's the most amazing lady. Like, she really is, dude. I lucked up with her.
That's
like,
awesome.
But then I was just like, you know, I got to do something. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm streaming for like from 1 to 40 people on Thursdays. That's not doing anything.
But you can do this from your home.
I can do this from my home.
You don't have to leave your family.
I can take it on the road.
That was my thing with comedy, is like, I'm having to leave. I have 3 small children.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm having to leave these children at night whenever they want daddy to lay with them and they want daddy to read a book to them. And like, I enjoy comedy. But I can't ever get this time back.
No.
This is like the most precious time. So.
It is, man. How old is your youngest now?
Youngest is about to turn a year old.
Man.
So he's about to turn a year. I got a 4-year-old boy. They're all boys. 4-year-old boy, 7-year-old boy, and about to turn 1-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So I'm just enjoying the shit out of it, dude.
It's great.
I'm gonna get frustrated like every other parent. I make mistakes. I blow up and get angry.
Yeah.
Just like every other parent. But like, dude, I'm enjoying the ride, dude.
Yeah.
Know? And like, that's kind of what got me into wanting to run a business, is because I wanted the freedom, you know. And when I say freedom, that, like, I don't really know how to explain it. Let me see if I can. So the freedom of, if my kid has a t-ball game, I'm not answering that phone.
Right.
You can call me as much as you want, but it can wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit at this T-ball game and I'm going to put my phone to the side and I'm not worried about my boss calling me. I'm not worried about whatever. It can wait till tomorrow, you know, and so that freedom of like, okay, yes, it's stressful. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I get 150 phone calls by 1:00. Yeah, but when it's off, and I'm setting my boundaries. And I've had to learn this over the past 2 years is to set my boundary and stick with it, because when I start answering the phone at 7:00 at night, I get immersed in it, and then my children don't have my attention. So I deleted all social media, so Instagram, Facebook, which is, I think all I had was Instagram and Facebook, but deleted it because I would scroll and scroll and scroll and get on Reels. I never had TikTok because that would have been a huge problem for
Dude,
me.
it's a bad problem. I'll
It'd have
sit
been a
on
huge
the shitter for an hour and a half.
It'd have been a huge problem for me, and I knew it from being. And I say, you say sober, I say clean. We'll say sober, clean. I'm a drug addict, so I'm in recovery.
Right.
You know, I go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I don't know if that
Yeah, it's fine.
really matters, or to say that you can
completely, whatever your thing is, it's completely okay
for
to
sure.
say.
But yeah, so it was literally like a drug. So I'm like looking for the dopamine hit, and I'm getting this very minute, small thing from the social media, and it like, I need to be paying attention to my children.
Yeah.
I don't need distractions from that because they're so impressionable, and this is such a crucial time in their lives. And like, I had a great family growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had our disputes, arguments. Yeah, there were some times that weren't great, but like we all do, right? So I just think this is a very, very important time for me as a parent. I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm constantly. None of us do.
None of us have a
So we're
fucking
learning
clue,
as
bro.
we go. But like, that is running the business, and like my family first, and then running my business and taking care of those people is second, and it will always be that way, because if that dries up tomorrow and I don't make another dollar, like, what's really important? If I find out tomorrow I got terminal cancer, stage 4, what mattered? Not that business, not money, not my truck, not my house, the time I spent. That's what's going to matter. I think about death a lot.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think about it a lot, and
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34.
But the next thought is like, how am I living my life right now? What am I doing? Where if I was on my deathbed, what would I look back and be like, damn, I shouldn't have worked so much, or damn, I should have been paying attention to my kids, or when they were pulling at my pants and I'm on Instagram, that's what got me. I was on Instagram and my kid was like, put your phone down. And I'm like, holy shit. It's giving me chills, because like, it was such a, I'm not saying I'll never get back on the shit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that right now, this is it for me. Like, this is like awesome, and I'm enjoying my life in the moment. I'm so dumb, I can't think about too far ahead, and I can't think about the past. I have to be like, my brain can't handle it. Like, I was talking to Ellie the other day. She's like, what if this? What if this? What if this? I was like, Ellie, if you were my old lady, I'd cuss you out right now. That's what I said to her. She said, please don't cuss me out. I said, I'm not going to cuss you out. I was like, we can't think about all this future stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes that way in recovery. And
It
it's
does.
like a just for today program. And it's, what do they say in AA? Not just for today, or is it just for today?
Just for today.
Yeah, just
I think
for
it's a
yeah, just
NA
for
thing. Isn't it?
yeah, just for today. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's the same concept
It is.
across the board. But yeah, I'm just so dumb, dude. I can't. I have to live right here, right now.
I have a problem with it. I can't think too far in the future.
I can't, dude.
Robin was planning something the other day, and she was like, so in like 2 weeks, we'll do this. I'm like, no. Like, put on the
It's
calendar.
a long time.
Don't make plans this day.
Yes, that's how I have to do it too.
And I won't make plans when I see that in the calendar. Now, if I make plans, I'll cancel them, but you won't ever know about that.
Right.
So
Right.
don't worry about it. You know?
Well, we're similar in that aspect, because
Right. You kind of have to be like, you kind of have to like stay in the moment. Like I hear you 100%. Like with Tilly, 4-year-old who is now getting sassy. Like tonight, she took paint and put it all over the desk around the laptop
there we go, Tilly.
because she already put water in the laptop.
Tilly's a winner.
And then I got a 13-year-old stepson, a 15-year-old stepson. You know, it's like, I'm not their dad, but I'm a male role model. Like, I'm somebody that they can look and see, like, you can be a good man and not be exactly like every other man.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
heavy, dude. That's some real shit.
and that's like I don't try to parent
Some
them.
real shit,
Like
dude.
me and my 13-year-old were tight. Like I took him to see Seven Dust show last time they were
Yeah.
down there. He got to meet the band.
Oh, that's sick.
I got
dude.
tickets for us for Bad Religion in September.
He's never gonna forget it.
He's never
ever.
gonna forget
his
it.
whole entire life. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Making memories. The money, the business,
Doesn't matter.
none of that shit fucking matters. It's the memories we make.
Yeah.
And when you lose people, you realize that. Like, did you ever care how much money your parents made?
No.
You cared about daddy coming to my baseball game?
I cared more about no, because I was the only child, and I'm not gonna say spoiled rotten because my dad didn't make that much.
Yeah.
My family didn't make that much. But if I needed something, I had it. If I wanted something, I would have to partially work for it.
Yeah, we were on a budget.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
Same
So it
thing.
was like, on Friday nights, when all my friends are like playing the new video game their parents got them, they would take me down to like the equivalent of what we had for Blockbuster. And then I would rent it for $3, play it for 2 days, and then take it back just so I could tell
Those
my
were the
friends,
days, buddy.
Yo.
Those were the days, buddy.
Yo.
Gosh, I was so stoked to go rent a video game back in the day, dude. And my friends would come over. We'd stay the night together. We'd play like South Park on Nintendo 64 or Simpsons, Road Rage, dude. Or
That was
like
the
that was a banger, dude. But yeah, no, how sick was that? Like kids are click of a button and they get what they want now.
Well, me too.
It's
I
different.
still play video games like it's going out of style, man. And now I got adult money.
Oh,
like,
it's over.
Yeah, like I'm like the other day I saw that there was a pressure washing simulator in VR. Like and my 13-year-old's been playing it on the Xbox.
Because it's satisfying.
Yeah, it's so satisfying. But it was like $20. And I sat there and I was just like
Cheaper than a pressure washer.
yeah. I was like, it's just $20.
But your driveway's not getting clean.
Right. I got it for him, and then like 20 minutes later, I realized I had like 3 utilities I had to pay that day, and I was only gonna have like $8. After that, I'm like, Billy, you should probably control. Like I'm so impulsive,
Yeah.
but I've gotten a lot better because Robin will pinch pennies like nobody's been. Like she's a teacher, she hasn't worked during the summer, but
And she can look a little bit into the future, which we're not capable of.
yeah, she can look so far in the
Thank
future.
God for women.
Thank God for
Yeah,
women.
yeah.
When was your clean date?
It is 4/17/2011. Right?
Oh, I didn't know you had that
13
much
years.
time,
Is
man.
that 13 years? Yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
So 4/17/2011.
Damn. I didn't know you had that much clean
Yeah.
time. For
Dude,
some
nobody's
reason-
asked me my clean date in so long. I had
Yeah.
to think about it. Yeah. I forget it. Like, I forget that
I
the
do
day
too.
even comes up anymore. And I'm like, okay, so we're getting close. And somebody will say something because I can't remember dates. I suck at
Mhm.
remembering dates. Like, even my kids' birthdays, I do exactly what I just did. I'm like, damn, when's his birthday? And I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the year. I'm terrible at days of the week. Names, I suck at names. I have to literally look you in the face, say your name 3 times.
Uh-huh.
And I suck at dates. But yeah, 4/15/2011 or 4/17/2011.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
thought that you got clean after. I have no idea why I thought that. I have no idea. That's awesome, man. 13 years.
Yeah, it just flies by.
Oh,
dude.
you're a perfect person to be on here because that's kind of the whole thing of this. Like, were you? Would it go?
I was 21 years old.
21.
Yeah, I was 21 years old. I just turned 21 2 months before that. So 2 months before that, I turned 21. And my 21st birthday was absolutely horrible.
Right.
I started doing drugs when I was in high school. Just mixed up with the wrong people, and then I became one of those people. And don't know how I graduated, but I graduated. I walked the stage on like 1 million milligrams of morphine. I don't know, but made it across the stage as an 18-year-old, and then between 18 and 21, it was pretty much shambles.
Yeah.
I had no job. I was selling drugs to make money and break even and get high and keep using, to maintain. It was all about maintaining for me.
Yeah.
So like, how can I maintain no withdrawal, supplying people what they needed and me not hurting or being able to buy food or pay my car payment or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was basically, I got out of high school, 18, 19. 3 years later, I was getting arrested. So April 15th, 2011, I got arrested. A lot of pharmaceuticals. Got took down to the station, and you know how cops are. They're like, just tell us who you're getting them from. We'll let you go right now. Just tell us who you're getting them from.
Right.
We'll let you stay out here for another week. And if you can give us some answers, if you can give us some names, we'll just kind of let you stay out here. And as they're saying it, I'm just turning around, putting my hands behind my back. I'm like, dude, take me to jail. And it was like, I don't think it had anything to do with like, I didn't want to be a snitch. I think it had everything to do with like, all right, it was my moment that I was going to be able to, something different was happening. I don't know, dude. It was like one of those,
You found a way out.
it was divine intervention, dude, is what it was. And like, it was my moment where like, I knew this was it. I'm surrendering. I'm giving up. Like there's no reason for me to try to tell on somebody or stay out in the streets no more. Like it was like, I wanted it to happen.
Right.
It's so weird. It was like, I hated the cops. I did everything I could to dodge them, but I was like, everything in me was like, you wanted this. Like, this is your way out. This is how you tell your family, like, you have a fucking problem. Like, this is how you get help. And it wasn't me saying it. It was just like something, I don't know, dude. Like, I believe in God, but like, this was, I don't know. I don't know how, that's the best I can explain it, is it was like something greater gave me an opportunity, and I didn't see it as an opportunity. I was crying like a little baby, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to use no more. I'm going to the county jail, and there's nothing I can do from here, and it was the most hopeless I've ever felt.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like, all right, I think there's no true misery without hope, right?
None.
So you can't have true misery without hope. And I think I was so miserable because I finally had a speck of hope. All right, maybe here's a way out. I can't stop doing this shit. Can't stop hanging around these people. Maybe this is my way out. So they take me to county. They book me. It was only like a $30,000 or $40,000 bond, but they put me in solitary confinement. And I was like, thank God. I do not want to be around these fucking idiots. Like, I do not want to be around these motherfuckers in county, right? So I've been to jail a couple times for like DUI, but in and out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm in here to stay. Like, I'm fucked, dude. And I'm in solitary confinement, and I'm like calling my dad from the phone. They're like, all right, you got a phone call, and it's a hallway, and it's got separate cells. Have you ever been in anything like that?
No.
All right, so it's a hallway. It's got separate cells, and you're by yourself in your cell, and it's just a bench, a toilet, and that's it. And it's a room smaller than this, like half the size of this. And they let me out. I'm getting on the phone, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm begging my dad to get me out. I'm like, please fucking get me out of here. And everybody could hear me on the hallway, and they were talking shit, laughing at me, like, wait till we get our hands on you, you little motherfucker. Like saying, like, you weak bitch, like saying stuff like that. And I'm just like dying on the inside. And at this point, I'm like, I just want to I just want to get high, like make this feeling go away. Cause it's all about feelings for me.
Right.
Like, how do I change I don't like the way I feel about myself. How do I change it? I think it's where it started for me. Like, not feeling good enough. It's nothing anybody made me feel. It was just in me, like, inherently, like, I just didn't feel good enough. How do I change that? I'm sad. I don't like that. I don't like being sad. I didn't like being happy. I hated happy people when I was using. Like, couldn't stand them. Wanted to choke them unconscious. Everybody that was smiling, I wanted to just kill you. So it's all about feelings for me. It's like, how do I change the way I feel? And like, but what it really boils down to is, why do I feel the way I feel? Like, excuse me, what inside of me is, because it stems from that for me, right? The drugs and the alcohol is just a symptom. You hear it all the time. But it's true. It's like, I'm a certain way. Why do I feel like I need Instagram or to change the way I feel?
Yeah.
Why do I need nicotine to change the way I feel? Why do I need caffeine to change the way I feel? It's just in my brain. Like, I don't like feeling normal. It's just not normal for me, So anyway, I'm in the cell. I'm calling my dad, please get me out. I'm begging you. He said, I'll get you out, but you have to go to treatment. He was like, there's no way around it. If they'll let me get you out, which I had a bail, they would let him get me out. If I'll let you get you out, you have to go to treatment. So 2 days in solitary confinement. I don't remember eating or drinking or anything. And he eventually comes down, and the officer comes in, and it's my baseball coach that is the
Damn.
not warden but the CO.
Yeah.
He comes to my cell and he's like, "Man, you took a turn for the worse, huh, buddy? You're in rough shape." And I was like, "Yeah, man." I was so ashamed. And he said, "Your dad's here to get you out." He's like, "I hope I never see you again." And I'll never forget that. And so he walks me down and I'm just so ashamed, dude. My dad picks me up. He's like, "So we're going to treatment." And the manipulation, right, of like being a drug addict, I'm like trying to get him to take me back to the gas station I got arrested at because I dropped 10 pills on the ground before they found what I had on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to go back and find them. And I get him to take me there and I'm looking on the ground for these things, can't find them. And I'm like, how am I feel like shit, like I have to use, right? And so I'm like, I got to go get Suboxone. Like, Dad, take me to go get Suboxone from somebody. Like, I have to get him. So he lets me use his phone. I call to get Suboxone. This is enablement at this point. And,
Right.
but he's not a drug addict. Nobody in his family did drugs. Like, he doesn't know. So I get the Suboxone. And this is I guess this was a few days before the 15th, because on the 15th I used Suboxone, right? So I'm using Suboxone and I go into detox. So I go into detox and I'm just crying, dude. Like I can't uncontrollably crying. I'm sitting in a bathroom crying. I don't want nobody to see me. I'm in the room that they're in. This is all a blur. But I'm using the Suboxone for 2 days. And on the 16th was my last day using the Suboxone. So the 17th was my first actual day clean.
Yeah.
So, and that, I didn't realize that till I had 5 years clean. The 15th.
You were here in Wilmington?
No, I was in Chapel Hill,
Okay.
Freedom House in Chapel Hill. And never been to detox before, never been to rehab, never been to a meeting. Didn't know what AA meetings were. I was going to AA and detox, had no clue. A bunch of old motherfuckers. So I'm like, this ain't it for me. Like I'm 21 years old. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I still have time. I should be able to go get fucked up and party. And so detox was 7 days, and my dad was like, "You're going to treatment now." And I'm like, fuck, I thought that was it. So I'm crying more. I just can't stop crying because like the feelings are coming back that I never had, right? So I'm crying more. I remember crying in my car from Chapel Hill. It seemed like all the way to Rockingham. I went to treatment at Samaritan Colony in Rockingham, which is like a Christian all men's treatment facility. So I get there. It's a 28-day program, right? So I get there. My attitude is the worst that it could possibly be. And like, there's people in there that can't read or write, like these Lumbee Indian dudes that like grew up, parents beat the shit out of them. And like, here's another thing I remember, Billy. Like, I remember that CO because he was my baseball coach. And I remember this guy named Irving or something. He was a big old Lumbee dude, couldn't read, couldn't write, and rough guy, like 50 years old, in there for alcohol. And I remember him looking me dead in my face and being like, "Man, your attitude fucking sucks." And when he told me that, and I knew about his life growing up, and I knew kind of some of his story, I was like, holy shit. I was in there like, fuck the police and all this other shit. I'm in here because of the cops and blah, blah, blah. Terrible attitude.
Right.
Not in there for the right reasons. And I remember him saying that to me, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this guy said, like, my attitude sucks, and think about the life he fucking had. And he's in here, and he's 50 years old. So that made me think. 28-day program. I said, please let me stay 2 extra days. I'm not ready to go. I don't know what I'm doing. 15 days in, the counselor says, what are you willing to do to stay sober? And I didn't know what to say. He said, what are you willing to do? His name's Robert. Shouts out to Robert if you ever see this. You saved my life. He said, what are you willing to do to stay clean or stay sober? Because this was all AA. And I said, I didn't know what to say. Didn't say anything back.
Right.
And 2 days later, I went in his office and I sat down with him. He said, "Did you think about the question I asked you?" I said, "Yeah, I thought about it." And he said, "What are you willing to do to stay sober?" I said, "I'm willing to do anything." He was like, "I think you should go to Wilmington." I was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that." You know, I was like, I got a dog at home. I need to stay with my dog. Any excuse. I was like, I'm not going to Wilmington. I need to go back to Sanford. You know, I'm from Sanford.
Yeah.
And he goes, "All right, I'll see you. We'll meet again in a couple of that guy is an amazing human. Had 20 some years sober whenever I was there. I go back 2 days later. I said, I'll go to Wilmington, dude. So it's a 28-day program. I stay 30. The last day I was there, I told my story in front of the guys, kind of like dressed up I got a tie and a collared shirt. I hadn't dressed up in years, dude. Like I was thugged out for years, just thugged out, like just wearing hood shit, hanging out in hoods and shit. So it felt good to dress up. Like I shaved my face, cut myself all up because I never shaved my face before. So like I shaved I always use a electric razor or electric battery powered thing. So I never use a razor. I was like, I want to clean myself up. It's time to change my fucking life. So I put a collared shirt on. I spoke in front of these guys and they were like, all right, we'll see you later. And I was scared as fuck to leave that place because for the first time in my life, I felt like a human again. And I was scared as fuck to leave because I'm like, I'm going to use like I always fucking use. That's what's going to happen. They shipped me down to Wilmington. My parents said, here's your first week's rent at a halfway house. Don't call us for any fucking thing else. If you get kicked out of here, do not fucking call us. So they put their foot down,
boundary.
Which was great. Best thing they could have done. So I go in the halfway house. It's $100 or $125 a week to live there. My parents gave me like $1.50 so I could get some food. I had a trash bag of clothes. I had no cell phone. They dropped me off at the halfway house and I meet all these guys. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you guys go drink on the weekends, right? And they're like, no, we don't do any of that. I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucked. Like, I'm never having fun again. Like, fun is done. I'm like, this is it for me. Fun is over for me. I get blessed to meet a guy named Graham. Shouts out to Graham. If you ever see this, I love you. You saved my life too. Graham woke me up every morning at 6. He's like, we're going to a meeting. Get the fuck up. He took me to a meeting that started at 7 o'clock every morning. I don't know how many times we went, but every time he knocked on my door, I got up. So it's like, get the fuck up and do what needs to be done. And that's what I've carried with me to this point in my life. And I'll carry it with me to the end of my fucking life. Just get up and do what needs to be done. Yeah, I'm talking about my feelings. Yeah, it's about my feelings that I use, but my feelings don't matter. A job needs to be done. Nobody's going to do it for me. So get the fuck up and do it. And that's what I told myself every day. Just get up and do it. Wash your dishes when you get done eating and put them the fuck away. And it started at that for me. Don't throw your fucking trash out the fucking window. Don't do it. You know you did it. Don't do it. So it started with those little tiny things, right? And Graham woke me up every morning. I literally take Graham on a fishing trip every year. He lives in Maine. He's doing very well for himself, business owner as well. He comes down here every year to go fishing with me, and it's amazing. And I always will make time for him because of what he did for me. Anyway, so that's basically how I got into recovery. I had no clue that I thought people in NA drank alcohol. So I'm like, cool, we can have a little bit of fun here. But I realized after the second meeting, I asked the guy, I was like, so you go out and drink with your friends? And the guy was like, no, dude, I don't do anything. And I just picked up 2 years. And he was like 25 years old. And I was like, I saw that guy's name's Sam. I don't know how he's doing, but he proved to me that somebody that's young can do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 21, completely lost, no clue who I was, and still pulling my head out my ass to this day trying to figure out who I am. And people like that were I believe that nothing can replace those moments, right? So like, I didn't realize what was happening when it was happening, but now when I look back and think about it, like, that shit was happening. Those people were put there for me to see and me to listen to. But if I wasn't listening and I didn't have my fucking eyes open, I would have never got this thing. Like, if I was not in position with an open mind, I would have never wouldn't be here. I'd probably be dead. And like, it's that simple for me. It's like, open mind, play your position, be in your position every day. And if you're not there, you're going to miss the blessing. You're going to miss the blessing you could be to somebody.
Yeah.
And we don't choose who we fucking help, and we don't choose who helps us. So it's like, and the most obvious things are, to me, I'm so dumb. The most obvious shit's right in front of my face, and it takes me months or years to realize it, you know. And I've done a lot of writing and a lot of work on this shit, and that's why I feel like I can articulate this pretty well to you and hopefully to the listeners. But these things happened in my life, dude, and it doesn't matter what kind of drugs I was doing. It doesn't matter any of that shit. Like, I was lost and I was fucked up and I was at rock bottom for a long time. And the thing that I thought was the worst thing that was happening to me was actually the best thing that was happening to me. And these things happen without my permission. But I had to be in position, and I had to have an open mind. I had to listen to another human. I didn't know how to have a conversation with somebody when I got clean, when I got sober. couldn't have a conversation with another person because I didn't know how to say anything except for how much do you want, where you at, how much do you
Yeah.
want. That's all I knew how to say. That's it.
I still
what you
have
got,
problems carrying on
that
conversations
shit.
with people.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
It's like Castaway. Remember he was on the island for a
Yeah.
long time and he was talking to a volleyball. And then when he got back, when they found him, he couldn't talk. He didn't know how to talk to people anymore. He was talking to fucking volleyball the whole time. That's what it was like for me, dude.
Sometimes I wish I just had a volleyball around me.
Dude,
You
there was
know?
no volleyball left at the end there, right?
It sounds like to me, and this is, I mean, I appreciate you sharing this with me, dude. This is the first time I've ever heard any of your backstory.
Yeah.
All I know about you is
That's why I wanted to tell
you're a
you.
good human being,
Thanks,
that
man.
you're a hard worker, a great dad, a good husband.
you.
Y'all married yet?
No, October.
October?
October.
There you
We're
go,
getting
my
married.
man.
Yep.
Like, I just know that, like, you're a good human being. And I've always wondered, like, I didn't know that you were an addict. I thought you were, like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we're all addicts, whether it's
Yeah.
booze or whatever.
Yeah, I was a drinker too.
Yeah.
But like, it's the same fucking.
I was mixed with
it's the
pharmaceuticals
same
and booze.
thing.
That
Yeah,
was my
same
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And man, it sounds like to me that your soul at that point, when you were getting arrested, your soul was like, this is our way out. We got to fight. Man.
As much as we did to ourselves, and we never broke our spirits.
Yeah.
Like, that's
broke mine,
that's
definitely.
amazing. That's amazing to me. Maybe I
Mhm.
did, but it somehow got mended back.
It
you
was
know?
strong enough to withstand
Yeah,
that pressure.
it was still there. It was still there.
Yeah.
But
Man, that's just like,
and I know I've never told you none of this because I don't talk about.
right.
I really in public. I don't really talk about recovery. I don't talk about being a recovering addict because of the view on that for some people is like, well, once an addict, always an addict. And it's like,
Bullshit.
it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And the stigma of it, it still keeps me from, and everybody doesn't need to know.
No.
Like everybody I come in contact doesn't need to know, oh yeah, I'm a recovering drug addict. I got 13 years clean.
Yeah.
That is a thing of the past for me. Yes, it was like that at first. For the first couple of years, yes, I had to tell you.
Yeah.
I had to say, hey, Billy, I'm in recovery. I don't drink, bud. So don't offer me a drink.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop passing me your joint. I don't fucking drink. Now I just say, no thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to explain myself to anybody anymore. And
Yeah.
there's some freedom in that. Like, there's some freedom in that.
I try to always remember, and I try not to ever let myself get complacent. And I always try to remind myself, you know, Billy, you know what you are, or what you could be again, more like it. You know what you could be again, so you need to keep your head on straight. I kind of always remind myself about that. Like if I have like, even like, not even like, because I don't want to drink. I don't think I'm going to. Like, you know, I've said this on every episode. I think my daughter will never know that side of me.
How awesome
My wife
is that?
will never know that side of me. This past year was my 7th year. And on my 7-year sobriety date,
Congrats.
thanks, man. Not
Fucking awesome.
my wife, my daughter, they knew, and my stepsons knew. And I don't even know why I'm calling them. They're my kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're my kids. My daughter went to school and told her teachers, my dad's been sober for 7 years. So, of course, I got text messages from the teachers because it's the same school that my wife works
Yeah.
at. But other than that,
Like they were congratulating you?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
Like
That's
nobody
awesome.
else said anything. And then for a second, I was like, why the fuck? This is a big deal. Why isn't anybody? I'm like, I had to remember because nobody knows that side of me. It's been so long and I've come so far that nobody would ever think that I was once
I had no clue.
dry humping bar shares and driving my car after 12 bottles of wine and 16 Adderall and a bunch of Klonopins. Like they never knew. They never knew that side of me. So it's like, I know I'm doing something right. You know, just like you're doing the same thing that's right. Like I didn't know that. I thought you're just a heavy drinker.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
knew-
was that too.
I mean, I knew you were because we've been like, yeah, me too. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
When you first mentioned it at a comedy show, I was like, thank God. I was like, thank God somebody here doesn't drink. Because at comedy, you're around alcohol. Like
Oh, yeah.
you're at bars, you're around alcohol. And I didn't really start doing comedy until I had like 7 years or something.
yeah.
And it did bother me at first because I was going by myself. Usually I go places like that with people in recovery. So when you mentioned to me you didn't drink, I was like, oh yeah, me either. And it just, dude, it was cool because I hadn't met it. All those, I don't want to like put people on blast, but in that industry, people party and they A lot of them
Yeah.
use or drink. Normal people drink. A lot of people drink. It's
Yeah,
normal. It's a
normies
normal
drink.
thing, right? So, but in that industry, you're at a bar. People are there to drink. Most of the comedians drink or
Mhm.
use. So it's like it felt good to have somebody where I'm like, all right, cool. This guy doesn't do it either.
Likewise.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
when
was
I learned that
dope.
about you, I said the same thing. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
All right. And it was for me, it was a little hard to get back into the scene. Like the club themselves and like the GM and the owner, they were cool. Like I could like text the GM before it might be like, hey, can I go up 10th tonight? I'll show up around 10 minutes
Yeah,
after
that's
it
sick.
starts and leave. And she was like, yeah, no problem. Got you. And that lasted for like 8 months until I was more comfortable going in. And even like after that, like I'd be like, hey, I got to work till here. I just want to get in and out, do some time. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. Like really cool.
That's cool.
But a lot of people, it was just like I could, you know, when you don't have anything in your system, your radar
Very aware.
very aware,
Very aware.
and I could hear people like, oh, I guess he's gonna tell another joke about him not drinking anymore. Here comes this, blah blah blah, and I'm like, man, fuck these people, because then I'd like, as I was leaving, I'd see them out back with like liquor splashes
Yeah.
down their shirt, going, what do you mean, giggity giggity giggity? And I'm like, y'all are fucking stupid.
Mhm.
Like, whatever, you're my friends.
It becomes unattractive at some point.
Yeah, it all does.
Yeah.
Like I still to this day, like I'll go hang out with like family friends, with the community that I've developed since becoming a parent. And after like I see, like I got great people, good times, but then there's a couple after they've had like 4 or 5 drinks, they start to get loose lipped. I'm like, all right, it's time to go.
Time to go.
I don't have any patience.
That's how you stay. That's how you stay in this thing, right?
Uh-huh.
You have to know, like, oh, I don't need to go there. I shouldn't go there. I remember how this made me feel last time. I don't think I need to go there. Or, hey, it's time to go. Because at some point, for somebody in recovery, we have to assimilate. Is that the word? Ourselves back into society. Assimilate. Sounds wrong.
I know
but
what you mean.
I think
It
it's
does
right. I
sound
think it's
wrong.
so right.
It's so.
It
like,
sounds so wrong, but
if
it's
anything. It's one vowel.
It's-
That's all.
we have to assimilate ourselves back into society at some point. Like we have to learn how to be a productive member,
Yeah.
right? So it's like we're gonna have to learn how to deal with these things as far as people offering you drugs or offering you a drink. Offering you a drink is very common. But
Yeah.
you know what keeps people from offering you a drink is if you have a drink in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not alcohol. So like I learned that. I learned, hey, keep a bottle of water, keep a Topo Chico.
Club soda.
Clubs, I
lime.
love club soda with
Me
lime.
too. That's my
But yeah,
go-to.
dude, I mean, it's like keep a drink in your hand, then nobody's gonna offer you one, and that was my way of like, okay, I can go here, I can do this. I know I'm not going with anybody in recovery, but I'm gonna come out of here sober. I'm gonna come out of here clean. Like believing that at some point was important for me. So that's how we stay. And you just said it. You just said time to go. Time to go.
And part of it is because
TTG,
like,
baby.
after the crowd gets drunk, not only am I not going to be entertained anymore because I don't like drunk people, but also I have less patience around them.
Same.
And I've worked very hard, very hard. I've worked harder on not being a dick
Same.
than I have on staying sober.
Same.
Like,
God, same.
Still, man, it's still. The other day, I went to the grocery store and there was this dude. It was me. Tilly was in the cart, and I was standing there, and this guy pushed his cart right up against me here. Or no, he had one thing of beer. He put it on the counter. Little tiny guy, little man syndrome, right? Little spiky hair. He had to be about 50. He had to he was puffing up his arms, and them bitches were skinny as hell. And this old man comes up. And that guy walked away. He walked away. And there was nothing dividing the groceries. And then the guy comes up with his cart, and his cart's like right here. And the guy walks up in between. He goes, "Can you back up, yo?" And starts yelling at the old man. And I'm like, right then I was triggered. I'm like, and I looked until he's like, "Daddy, can I?" I'm like, "Oh, you little angel." I'm like, she can't see
Gotta
me do
watch
that.
what you
You
do.
can't see me do that. So I kind of pushed the cart away from me a little bit. And he said, the guy was like, I didn't know that was your stuff. You weren't standing here. Because, well, I'm here now. I'm like, hey, man, you can calm down. Like, really nonchalantly. I'm like, hey, buddy, my kid's right here, but you need to calm down because there's no way he would have known that. And right now you're making an ass of yourself. Okay, my friend? And I kind of peered down at him. And then he gave me the eye, like, it's go time. and I just turn around and push the cart. Bruh, it's been years since I've been that ready to punch another human in the face. Years. And I'm like, this guy's going to be easy. This is going to be a softball game. Like, I've been dying for it too. Like, with just everything in the world going on, how shitty the world is. Old Billy that just would rather punch you in the face than to talk to you.
Oh, he's in there.
He's still
in
there.
He's in there.
He's not as prevalent as he was, but like, man, I'm so glad my daughter was there with me.
What a beautiful thing though to realize like you don't have to serve up.
Yeah, I don't have
You don't have to not discipline these people, but you don't have to give them what they deserve.
Yeah.
It's not my job to give you what you deserve because you're gonna get it from the universe.
Yeah.
So what a beautiful thing to like have the self-control. You know, yeah, thank God your daughter was there. That makes it a little easier to look at her and be like, oh,
Yep.
she doesn't need to see that person.
Because that would have scared the shit out of her.
Yeah.
She's feisty.
Yeah.
She's a little me.
Yeah.
But also, she's got a lot of her pacifist mother in her.
What a beautiful thing, though, right?
It is.
That's recovery.
It is.
Changes in ideas and behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts, ideas, and behaviors is recovery.
I still do it now. Like I did it last year when I was like really starting to feel like I was regressing mentally back into my not drinking, not using, like mentally.
Yeah, state of mind.
Anger wise, state of mind wise. I was starting to feel, so I changed the same thing I did when I got out of treatment. I dropped all the people, changed all the places but one comedy club, and all the things.
Yeah.
Did everything. I didn't give a fuck about anybody's feelings, and I still don't. But I had to do it again last year.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm done. Like this isn't for me. I'm getting irritated. I'm starting to ignore the people that matter the most.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I could have done, you know?
It's scary to change. It's never not scary to change, right? But it's necessary.
Yeah.
If you're gonna stay in recovery, it's necessary to constantly change, constantly look at what's Billy doing, what's Lex doing, what am I not doing right, what's not sitting well with me, what am I losing sleep over, and changing those things is necessary to stay here. You know, because what follows you you gotta be time to go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the theme, TTG, time to go. That's how you stay in this process. Like, time to go. Those old thought patterns, those old people, even the new people that you start associating with, you grow or you go, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You grow or you go. Just because 3 people went down this path and you went down this path, that don't mean them 3 people were right. That is not what that means. Like, I'm just saying.
When was the last, have you had, I'm sure with 13 years, man, I'm so impressed by that. Like, I'm always impressed when people have just any time.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
but like 13 years.
It's a long time, dude. It's a long time.
What did you have a moment in that 13 years where you were just like, you kind of just came to you for a minute, you're like, holy shit, it's been a long time and I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, because like at some point you don't think about drinking every day.
Yeah.
You don't think about using every day. And then a bunch of days go by and you're like, holy shit. Like the meeting is the only reason that I thought about anybody drinking today, because I'm so focused on goals and like the people that matter and the relationships. Like relationships are huge.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason that I'm here is because Graham and that counselor and my parents and that correctional officer, even that was a relationship, even though it was a 30-second conversation. Like that was a 30-second relationship and I got something out of that and it motivated me and it taught me something. Right. So like relationships, it's so important because like when I lay down at night, say you didn't have a family,
right,
and you're living in this house by yourself, even in a room full of people, we can feel alone. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have relationships, and relationships is a 2-way street, we're selfish as fuck. So if we can't put that selfishness to the side, we're never going to have a healthy relationship with any fucking body.
Yeah.
And relationship with self. Like, what's your relationship with self? Like, I have to think about that all the time. Why am I so stressed? Why am I so snippy? What is my relationship with self right now? Like, self-evaluation is key for me. And I don't do it near enough.
No,
even if I did it every day, it wouldn't be enough.
No.
Multiple times a day, I have to evaluate self.
It's impossible to keep in this state of mind and be a productive member of society or a productive member of a family, it's impossible to keep yourself in check all the time.
Oh, impossible. If you can keep yourself in check all the time, let me know. I'll pray to you.
Yeah.
Like, let me just pray.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There is something.
But like, we're human, bro, and like seeing the humanness in ourselves and others, like that helps me stay sober. Like that helps me stay clean. Like when I see how much I hurt you when I say something, it's like, all right, time to adjust. Time to make some changes in my life. Time for these things to go. You know, time for these old character defects to go. How do we fix that? What's the root of these things?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, it's the feelings, and like when you take the alcohol away, you're still Billy.
Yeah.
Like you're still Lex when you take it away. And like, what drove me to drink to fix all my problems? What drove me to use to fix all my or to fix all my problems? What drove me to that? And like, that's an important question that I have to still ask myself, and it changes. Like it's such a constant change. It's like, oh, this could have done that. This could have driven me there. My inability sometimes to be content is probably something that the way I hold on to a resentment probably drove me to get fucked up. I'm just saying, there's so many things we're going to continue. We're going to learn about ourselves in this process, and the lights are going to go off. Like you were just saying, did a light ever go off? Did you ever realize, oh, damn, I'm good?
Yeah.
You know, and like sometimes the I'm good shit ain't good. If I keep telling myself, oh, I'm good, like, why am I having to tell myself that so much? Am I putting myself in fucked up situations where I have to tell myself I'm good all the time? And I know what you meant by your question, but there's a flip side to it where it's like, why am I having to tell myself I'm good? Why am I telling you I'm good? Why can't I just be good?
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
I mean, not really to do with your question, but my disease will tell me I'm good sometimes. Like, oh, you're good. Go hang out with those people that are smoking weed. They're going to pass you the joint. You're good. You'll tell them no.
Yeah.
My shit talks to me in my own voice. That's why it's so fucking insidious. Like, I'll convince myself of some shit. Like, you need to go show those people how good you're doing. Not so much anymore, but at first, go show those old friends how good you're doing. That's what my disease told me, and it about put me in some fucked up situations.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was, and we talked about this earlier. I don't know how much time we got left, but I feel like this is important. So everybody doesn't do this thing the same, right?
No.
Everybody's not going to do it how Billy does it. Everybody's not going to do it how Lex does it. And it's important that we realize that. And I think it took me years in recovery to realize, oh, you don't have to go to meetings. You can get clean at church. You can get sober in a monastery or with a Quran or whatever. There's people in different countries that do this thing. They don't, like, everybody doesn't do it the same way. You don't have to go to meetings. You know, it's like there's different ways to do this thing. And the sooner we can accept that, the more love we can have for these other people, because really the driving force behind all this shit is love, right? It's like self-love. It's loving others loving you. That's the only reason we're even here right now, is because somebody cared enough about us to say, hey man, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Or you're doing this. Maybe you should. At some point, somebody said you were fucking up, probably a bunch of times before you actually heard it. You know, it's that people told me that so many times before I heard it. You know,
and then it takes the time for you to come to terms with it.
Yeah.
And by then, that's when that rock bottom hits. I remember that day. I remember that morning. I remember waking up, looking around, going, "Oh fuck!"
It's important never to forget that.
Oh, I never forget.
It's important never to forget that.
It's one of those things. Like I don't go to meetings regularly.
Yeah.
Like I think after starting this, like I think I will. Like after I did like episode 1 and 2. A friend of mine that I met in treatment who fell off was picking up a year. And I just read online that they were picking up a year. So I just showed up.
That's awesome.
At the meeting, you know, for her. And it was awesome to see their face, you know, and it felt good to me to be like, you know, I forgot how important it is to be there for the ones who, and they were like, you know, I've always looked up to you. You got over 7 years. You've never fallen off. And I'm like, I mean, that's luck, really. It's luck and a lot of hard work. But like, I look up to the people that, you know, weren't, I don't want to say fortunate as fortunate, but like it makes, to me, somebody who can have some time and fall off, realize it, pick themselves back up and get back up. That's a fucking strength, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed.
Yeah, I don't know if
that
I have
it.
that strength. I don't
I
know
don't
if I
know
have
if I
that
do either, man.
Yeah, I'm not willing to find out.
I'm not either.
Just for right now, I'm not.
I can't.
It ain't
I
worth
can't.
it.
Not with all. If it would have been me, you know, like I can't remember who asked me recently was, do you think you'd still be sober if you hadn't had met Robin and had a family? There's no point for me to answer that question.
No point to even think about that.
No, there's not, because I'm here. I'm loving myself for the first time in like 10 years.
That's awesome.
You know, like my family, like I feel loved, like unconditionally. You know,
I think it was impossible to feel that when you're getting fucked up.
so impossible.
We robbed ourselves of that feeling.
Robbed ourselves of it and searched for it in places to falsify the feeling. Like I remember, I don't know about you, but I remember like meeting somebody and having that puppy lust and being like, oh man, I love this person. And then realizing real quick that it wasn't reciprocated. And then that feeling of emptiness of, well, what's wrong with me? And then that would drive me further into things, or with performing of, yo, I know that joke's good, or why didn't I get this show? Why is that person on that? That was like a huge drive for me to drop it. Like just drop it all together. Now, if somebody asked me, hey, Billy, you want to go out and do 20 minutes? I'd be like, no, but I'll do 10,
Yeah.
you know, because I love it. It's amazing.
You're really good at it.
I appreciate it.
You're really good at it.
I love it, but it's not something that I'm going to seek, because every single time afterwards, I'm so hard on myself, I slip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm
so hard on myself too when I do, and I'm not even really a comedian. Like I just do stand up.
Snort laughs so many times.
That's because you get my sense of humor. That's
I do. Like I just like you know, like Lou Morgani will put me on. Like,
Yeah.
if I give him
What
call.
a solid guy that
Dude,
is.
I love that man. So
Holy
much.
shit! What a great guy.
He's just a good.
He's so
human being.
empathetic to other humans.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can empathize with other people.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic human being.
He really is. Like he's I can give him a call, and if it's been enough time, like he'll put me at Waterline, you know? Like if it's like a gimmick show, like the roast or whatever.
That place is cool.
Yeah, it is.
Waterline's
I love that
cool.
room.
Yeah, that place
is
is cool.
Great room. I went up there last time I went up there, I did like 10 new minutes. Maybe 5 of it worked. And then did the other stuff that I had like 2 years ago. But I got off and I was just like, man, that didn't work. And I love coming off stage with him after not doing great. And he's just like, did you have fun? I'm like, yeah.
That sounds just like something he'd say.
Fuck it then.
That's
I'm
a
like,
good Lou impression.
thank you.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Do you have anything? This is the question I ask everybody, like towards the end. Like, I don't have a time limit. Like, man, this is a great conversation.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I love this conversation. Do you have a characteristic that has stuck with you even after being clean, that pops up every now and then, that you're like, there's old Lex right there? And how do you?
Do I have to pick one?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no.
There's still a lot.
Yeah, I got a few too.
But how do I what?
How do you cope with, like, what is the coping skill to deal with that?
Oh man, this is a great
Like,
question.
Is it like, for example, let me
I'm into this right
mine
here.
Mine is my temper, not with my family, but anybody outside of my house. I'm quick to jump up. I'm quick to judge people. I'm still envious that people that I feel that aren't doing as good as I am have 10 times the money I do, and I work my ass off. You know, like, it's little things. It's like it's a greed, envy, anger, or what's the word? it's like so basically, I can get myself up in a tizzy really quick and say some things to people that don't need to be said. And I am so in my zone with it.
How dare you?
Silver tongue
How dare you?
pierces people's souls. But after that, I'm kind of like, why did I do that? Did it make you feel good? Doesn't matter if it did or not, Billy. It's not something that people do to one another that should care about it. And then I come home and I talk to my built-in therapist of a wife and I tell her everything, you know? And then after that, I'm good. And 99% of the time, I'll go and I'll apologize to that person, you know? But that's kind of the coping skill of it is why did I do it? Why did I do it? Was it just? Because if it's just, fine, whatever. I'm not going to apologize later, but I still didn't need to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Kind of rambling on it.
Nope, I know exactly what you mean because mine's very similar.
Oh yeah.
And I think for me, it's pretty much exactly what you said, but I can become like belligerent almost. And you explained it perfectly. Saying things that don't need to be said. It is not my job to serve you your fucking what you deserve. It's not my job unless I'm protecting my family or somebody that is if somebody's being bullied or somebody can't defend themselves,
right?
You know, then it is my job to step up for that person.
Exactly.
But that's normally not the case. Normally it's just me trying to exert my dominance and let you know I will fuck you up or whatever, you know, whatever you know, but yeah, it is that. And it's like, and what I realize is that after I come back down off my high horse and my holier than thou and, self-righteousness, that I realize, there goes I. Every single time somebody is doing something that I have done to someone before in my past, and I'm just mad because I did that in the past, and now you get to act like that. And I think it's my job to serve you what you deserve.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it sucks that I can't realize that in the moment. I can realize that in the moment. But I choose not to.
Right.
You know, so mine is the same as yours, and the coping skill for me is like, talk to another human about it. Get it out of my head, make it real, put it out there, say it, and realize how dumb it was. Because most of my thoughts are pretty dumb, and until I say them, I don't realize how dumb they are. They sound great up here before they come out of my mouth. It sounds real great for me to tell you how fucking much of a piece of shit you are until it comes out of my mouth and I see the hurt on your face, and I realize, like, wow, like, did that really need to be said? Just like you said, things that doesn't need to be said. So mine is the same as yours. And the way I cope is I pray. I talk about it to another person, and I talk with them about how stupid it was. And most of my friends don't co-sign my bullshit, and they say, oh yeah, that was pretty dumb. But, you know, you did the right thing. You went back and you apologized, or you made it right, or you're not going to treat the next person that way.
Right.
You know, so yeah, my shit rears its ugly head, you know, especially under stress.
Man.
If I'm stressed, if I hadn't had enough sleep, if I'm not working out, if I'm eating like shit, not taking care of myself, then it's way easier for old Xanax Lex to come out. That's what I think about it as. I can act like I'm taking Xanax, and I'm not. And I was a total piece of shit when I took Xanax.
Oh,
and
man,
I can act that same way without any of it.
Yeah.
So, and you know, but that's it. That's it for me. That's a great question. And I'm glad you asked me that, because I do think about that a lot, because I do not want to be that person that I was.
Hell no.
I don't have an excuse now. I don't drink now. I don't have an excuse for acting like an asshole. So then I really have to be sorry, and then I feel like shit about it. And like, we got to keep our side of the street clean. It don't matter what that other person's doing. We got to keep our side. Their side can be dirty. Ain't no HOA in that shit.
No, ain't no.
So, I'm just saying, like, we can only help our side of the street. And we're an example for people. So if we're treating people like shit, why would anybody want to change their life and do what we do?
Exactly.
You know, we're an example for our children. So it's like, but yeah, mine's the same one as yours, bud.
Yeah.
And that's a great fucking
I figured
question.
it would be close to it, because we're a lot alike when it
It's
comes to the mindset and just the general outlook of the world. Like, I know you're somebody that would stand up for somebody in a second if they needed it. A lot of people will just turn away or pull out their phone. I
Yeah,
can't.
it's sad.
I can't. Like, I have to interject in it. I can't let somebody be mistreated when they have done nothing to be mistreated. Now, if they've done something, sorry, dude, I'm pushing my groceries out in the car.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
you dug this grave.
Yep.
Just like I dug my own. You dug yours. Nobody helped me out of mine.
It's
You
the
know?
shit
Well,
that
they
I,
did.
it's
I
the
shouldn't
it's
say
my shit, my defects that piss me off the worst in other people.
Yeah.
It's when they do what I do that makes me so mad.
Oh man. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get it too. Like when my 15-year-old, he's got a silver tongue.
yep.
And then
Doesn't it make you so mad?
it does, but also I'm like, little fucker's got a point. Like,
Yeah.
like, he's so smart.
He's got a point.
He's so smart. Like, he's got a point. He's got a point. Last question
All
for
right.
you. 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years.
13.
That's a
Lucky
long
13.
time,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And you said it was April?
Yep. April. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm in March. That's just 4 or 5 years behind, but still 13 years. What is the thing when you wake up in the morning? What is the one thing that keeps your mind off of 13 and anything old Lex? But what is your number one drive now after being in this skin that you've been in, that you've fought for, that you've learned for the past 13 years?
My mindset when I get up in the morning is get better. Be better than yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, how do I improve on yesterday? Because if I keep doing that, I'm gonna continue to grow and be better at everything that I do. So, like, how can I have done, what did I do wrong yesterday? What did I not do enough of yesterday? It goes back to the inventory, right? So it goes back to, like, what did I do yesterday? How can I improve today? But literally the first thing I think is, like, how do we get the kids to school better than we did yesterday? How do I positive reinforcement, or whatever the verb for that would be, for my kid better than I did yesterday?
Right.
Like, how can I be a better dad than yesterday? How can I be a better employer? I'm also kind of an employee, so I do a bunch of stuff that employees do. How can I be a better employee today?
Mm-hmm.
When somebody texts me and asks me to be on their show and it's going to benefit, or it could possibly benefit another human, what an opportunity that is. So, like, when you text me, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll fucking do it.
I was so happy.
Like,
when you
dude,
did
what
it.
an opportunity. So it's like these little things come up, and if I'm not in position, if I don't have the open mind, if my eyes aren't open, then I'm not going to see it as the opportunity that it is. So I try my best to look at things as an opportunity. All right, my kid spit in his teacher's face today, or whatever. I'm just saying.
Right.
This
Mine did
has
that.
never happened. I'm just
Mine did.
Yeah, mine did too. But yeah, like, how do we handle this in a way better than the last time we handled a situation like this? Because obviously we need to do something different here,
Yeah.
right? So my attitude is get better every day. It doesn't always happen. I don't always get better every day, because if I did, I'd be a lot further than I am right now.
Can't be perfect every day.
But the mindset's everything. Like, the mindset is everything. How can we improve on yesterday? So, like, that's what I focus on every day when I get up. So,
What's your biggest achievement in life?
biggest achievement in life.
Like, what are you the most proud of?
Definitely being a dad, but I'm trying to think of what about being a dad. I think the unselfishness that it takes to be a good parent makes me proud, right? Because I'm such an inherently selfish person, right? So I think that my dad is the most unselfish person that I've ever met, and I am the opposite of that. So if I can be half the parent he was to me, then at the end of the day, I'll say, all right, I'm happy. So the requirement level of unselfishness that it requires to be a parent, I think that's what I'm most proud of. And I'm not always that way. I'm not always the best parent, but, like, that's something that every day I try to improve on. How can I be more patient, more kind, more unselfish?
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause I got things I want to do every day. I want to buy jet skis and shit. I can't, but the reality of it is, like, I'm a parent, and like, how can I be the best one? And I am. That's the most proud thing I have, is being a dad, and like the impact I'm gonna have on these young boys' life.
Exactly.
You know, and like, how can I continue to get better as a parent and be there for them when they need me, and even when they don't?
Mhm.
How can I be at their beck and call without spoiling them? There's a balance to be had, you know. So it's like, that's what I'm most proud of, and it'll probably be that way for the rest of my life, hopefully, you know.
Could be.
Because it's like, even if I have one kid, like, how can I make this kid's life the shit,
Yeah.
you know, without turning them into an entitled little cunt? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
that's
like,
the fine line, man.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm a
there's-
sucker, dude.
I am too.
I'm a
I am too.
sucker.
I just want to get my kids stuff in every store, and like, what do you want? Where do you want to go? Like, you know, and but the balance for me is like the time spent. So you can't put a price on time spent.
Mm-mm.
And like, I'm not spoiling my kids by spending time with them. We're enjoying life together. So that's it. The unselfishness that's required to be a parent, that's what I'm most proud of, that I was able to, or that I am able to most of the time, overcome my inherently selfish wants and needs to put it aside for another human being. And like, it's not just with kids, it's with all humans that we have to do that with. Like,
Yeah.
like Lou's a great example, like we were talking about. He might think he's selfish, but he always stops what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks you in your eyes, and he takes his time to talk to you.
Yep.
And he will talk to you till you're done talking. And like, that's an example of a good human.
Good human being.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's it. Those are some great questions.
I appreciate it.
Those
They're
are-
thinkers.
Those are really good. I like to think.
I'm never gonna and people have already asked me a couple episodes, been like, "Hey, so can I get the questions first?" I'm like, "Fuck no."
Nah, I want to
No,
think
I want
on
it
the
raw,
fly.
dude.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
I've done a bunch of podcasts. I want the real shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's going to help people the most, because people are going to relate to what we're saying. So
yeah.
that's what's going to help people, not thought out, rehearsed bullshit. you
Yeah.
know?
Man, I appreciate you.
This is awesome.
Bro, we just made my day.
Dude, this is awesome.
Appreciate it.
Dude, thank you.